great big glasses on her. She's going to be really angry.
Before she comes.
No, I'll do it quick. And now I'm going to black out her teeth. You ready? You ready?
You know what you do a moustache.
I'm going to black out her teeth. Now, moustache. Okay, let's do it. Big, black, ugly moustache. She's going to... Quick. No, there you go.
Okay.
Catherine Hone's documentary. I'm very busy.
That painting looks like the one in Neighbours.
That's Sir Eric Pearce. There was a very famous television star and newsreader. This is Gracie.
Hi.
He looks after us all, don't you? No. Looks after us all. I shall find them, darling.
Hi, Greg.
How are you, Kath?
Good, how are you?
Good.
It's good. This is Brian Naylor's son.
That's me.
Yep. So where we're going. Can someone? Hi. Here we have a road. Say hi. Hello. There's a tractor. Here we are again, and I'm going to try and get into the front gates. Hopefully this will work, because I've got my Channel 9 security pass. Here comes the car. Hello. So then, we have Brian Naylor and there are signs and signature. Okay, I think I might go through there now if I'm allowed. I don't know. Down here is Studio 9. There goes someone. Go in here.
Home kid again.
Quick. She's got it. I know.
Mickey
Mouse ears. What a great idea. Here we go.
Low, aren't they?
Well, that'll do though. Looks silly like that. It looks really silly like that.
Yeah, fill him in.
Okay, I'll paint him in black. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not really good at this. Is she coming back? No, all right, okay. Well, I better fill the other ear in too. Here we go.
Whiskers on this one. Whiskers, not moustache.
Whiskers.
Come on, hurry up.
Oh, all right. I'm not very good.
Whiskers.
Paint. Here I go. One whisker about here, and another one here, and another one here. Hey, you know what I'm going to do after the whiskers?
Make it look really
I'm
ugly.
going to make it look really ugly.
Do it.
Even being nominated for the Norwich Rising Star Award was a dream come true. All were under 21 and had played less than 10 senior AFL games at the beginning of the year. The winner would join the elite group of greats, which includes Magpie Nathan Buckley and Ben Cousins of West Coast Eagles. Melbourne veteran Gary Lyon encouraged the nominees to not be afraid to dream.
To dare to be able to dream that high, I reckon that's important, because sometimes we encourage the people to live on it.
A player was nominated each round of the home and away season by a 6-member selection panel. Herald Sun football journalist Mike Sheehan summed up his view of the class of 98 nominees.
But I think this year was a very even group. I remember looking at each of the batch of kids that they showed on the screen at the presentation. They were all even. They were all sort of kids just to say, yeah, he's going to be a player, but not of the quality of, say, Buckley or Hurd.
21-year-old Byron Piggott, however, was an early and hot favourite to win the award, after an outstanding season with North Melbourne. And the young Aboriginal was victorious. Byron Pickett, who played all 22 games this season, became the first winner in the award's history to pull a perfect 30 votes from the selection panel.
The 5 judges, all of whom have got different backgrounds, but impeccable football backgrounds, all thought he was the best first-year player. So I think there's no question that he can play the game.
Pickett receives the trophy and a $20,000 investment trust from Norwich Union. Michaela Hone, Newsline.
And a real cute wife.
It can make you a man, learn to work as a team.
But get a long contract, know what I mean?
Oh, I want to play AFL football, takes Becky Marks. Get on TV, I want to kick 10 goals in a winning grand final, out in the middle of the MCG. When I'm finally done, I might turn to coaching.
Get the flick mid-season, you gotta be joking.
I work real hard and develop the youngsters.
Get shown up by a pack of young wank.
He's here with the star of the production, Bronwyn Oak.
Thanks for joining me, Bronwyn. Now, Vinegar Tom is set in the 17th century. It was written in the mid-1970s. Do you still feel it has relevance in the post-feminist late 1990s?
Well, I think always everything has relevance. So this play in particular sets the standards for the feminism, and we need to still fight for that today. There are still things like politicians, who we shan't name, who will not allow don't want single mothers to be paid. There's a lot of discrimination for women who are pregnant or going to become pregnant in workforce. And I think that everything needs to be supported all the way throughout.
So has there been, in this particular production that you're taking part in, is there any way that you've actually updated the play from, the 1970s, which was a slight, a different environment of feminism? Have you updated any parts of it or brought more relevance to it as a post-feminist work?
Well, not particularly to the action of the play, but Carol Churchill did specify that the chorus was to be a contemporary part of the play.
Okay.
So the chorus is basically using a lot of the percussive instruments, very primitive but very up-to-date and modern as well, so it makes an interesting juxtaposition between the two.
Okay, and now the play is part of the Fringe Festival, and although today feminist texts are quite commonplace, now does Vinegar Tom cover any old ground about feminism, or is there some new thoughts about feminism or anything that can be related to today more?
I think the whole thing is related today in the stereotypes. The character I'm playing, Alice, has a lot of prejudice against her because she is a single mother and she does like to sleep around. But of course that's not acceptable. And there's still a bit of that prejudice today in today's society. There are a lot of religious background families who don't like their daughters doing things like that. And while the men are considered as studs, it's the women who are always the sluts. So I think it still has that relevance, which is very strongly carried through.
Okay. Now there's a theme of witchcraft which runs throughout the play, although there actually aren't any characters who are witches. It's always the kind of supposed witchcraft, etc. What do you think this signifies?
Well, there are many things. We can go back to the eras of Stalin and Lenin, when people were just basically prosecuted, and also the blacklisting of writers in America for being communists. But we can go to today's standards, such as Pauline Hanson's views on immigrants coming over to Australia.
So finally, you're presenting the play in a few nightclubs and places, and it starts next Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay, well thank you very much for joining me.
Okay, Bronwyn. Thank you.
That was Newsline reporter Michaela Hone with Bronwyn Oak, who's performing in the Fringe Festival beginning this weekend.
I'm Catherine Hone. And I'm Kate Dillon. Today we're going to investigate ways in which Year 12 students deal with stress.
With the new millennium fast approaching, the class of 2000 are beginning to prepare for their final year.
With pressures on students and competition rapidly increasing, a larger emphasis is being placed on studying and receiving a tertiary education position.
As Year 11 students, we thought this would be very relevant to us, and we thought it would be important to investigate the pressures placed on past and present Year 12 students.
We felt future Year 12s could learn much from the ways past students handled the stress, competition and anxiety of their final year.
So sit back, relax and watch as we present to you a variety of different ways in which to deal with this stress.
This is Michaela. Michaela was in Year 12 in 1996. This is Sean. Sean was in Year 12 in 1997. This is Stacey. Stacey was in Year 12 in 1998. And this is Sarah. She'll be in Year 12 in the year 2000. What were your feelings at the beginning of Year 12? Did you have any fears or concerns about the year ahead, Michaela?
Well, my brother was a year above me, so I think I'd seen first-hand, or second-hand I really should say, the stresses and pressures of Year 12. So that when I was going into Year 12, I was quite excited about the possibility of being able to just work solidly for 1 year and get some kind of accolade at the end of it. I'd have to say I was a little bit worried about how I would go and about whether I'd be able to do all the work. But really, I think it was a lot of excitement. To sound really sucky, it was excitement, yeah.
And what about you, Stacey?
I think I was a little bit nervous because I'm not the most studious person and I'm not that organised, so I was a little bit nervous that I'd sort of fall in a heap in the middle of the year.
Okay, and Sean, during the year, did you find yourself, as Stacey said, falling in a heap at any stage or finding it hard to cope with the workload?
No, not really. It's pretty pressure. There's a lot of pressure on you when the cats are due, but if you do the work, like if you prepare and do the work, you get plenty of time in school and class and after school. You do all the work then, and you're organised and you've got a good structure of studying, yeah, it's okay. Exams is probably the hardest time, I reckon. It was just all cramming, a lot of cramming, studying.
So when you were in that stage, what kind of outlets did you partake in to minimise those stress levels?
I played sport, so...
What sports did you play?
Football and cricket.
Did you find them helpful?
Yeah.
It was like a getaway from...
Yeah, you got to have an outlet away from work. You can't work all the time. You can't study all the time. It just becomes monotonous. You don't actually learn anything after a while, so you need that avenue out to vent all your frustration and stuff.
Stacey, did you have any outlets that helped you with your studies, like that you did to get away from schoolwork?
I wouldn't say outlets as such. I didn't study for long periods of time because I didn't think that was, I lost interest in it. I knew I wasn't doing the work properly, so when the work got too much, I think I just put it away for a while and took a rest, go and watch TV, go for a walk. But yeah, I'd never sat there for long periods of time. Once I knew I wasn't sort of concentrating anymore, I put it away.
And you, Michaela, did you partake in any activities during Year 12?
Well, I don't think I took part in a lot of activities. I did have a part-time job, and I think that was kind of important to do something other than schoolwork and get away to do that. But I think I found that Year 12 was it's such a social kind of event. Like, you have so many 18s and so many people, you get really close, a lot closer to your friends, I think. So that, every weekend I would still be going out quite a bit. Maybe I'd still come home at a reasonable hour so I could get some homework done on Sunday or whatever, but I think it still is important to socialise because, you can socialise even if it's only for 4 hours a week or something. It's really a lot of time out of your week, and I think it really does help you to improve the quality of your work when you are studying.
Sarah, hearing what Sean, Michaela and Stacey said about going into Year 12, do you feel the same way, being in Year 11 now and having Year 12 coming up next year?
To tell you the truth, I haven't really thought about Year 12 that much because I've just been getting used to Year 11 work and getting Year 11 work in. But I'd say I'm most worried about what Sean said about the exams and getting them done. And other than that, I probably haven't really thought about it that great a deal.
Do you have any activities that you do now that are outside of school and that you feel might be good ones to hold on to when you're in Year 12?
I'd say the only activity I do is probably going out with friends.
if I have too much work to do or it just gets me down too much work and I can't do it all in the one go, then I'd probably go out with friends and talk to them about it, or just put it away. Like Stacey said, not do it. I can't really do it all in the one go, so I'd sort of either swap subjects and do something else for a while, or just go out with my friends.
Okay. Any helpful hints for those entering Year 12 now?
I'd just say if you do enough work, if you really commit yourself to be able to do your best work, sometimes make sacrifices and do the work instead of going out and actually just try and be as productive as you can be. I think it's all very manageable. I don't think there's any part of Year 12 that isn't manageable. It may be challenging, but I think you can do it, and even if you're not the brightest person in your class, you can still do well if you do put in the time.
Sean?
Yeah, I reckon Mikhail's pretty much hit the nail on the head. I probably wasn't the smartest bloke, but if you put in a lot of work and a lot of effort, and you work hard, it's just 1 year. If you work hard, you can get the results to get into your courses that you want to do. So you can never aim too high.
Okay, thanks. Stacey?
I'd say use your class time wisely, really. Because if you get a lot of the work done at school, I never went to bed late. I'm one of those people who can't go without sleep. And so I used a lot of my class time and breaks and things like that, so that once I got home, my workload wasn't as much as, say, people who sort of didn't do much at school and sat around and talked for a while. So it's probably my only bit of advice.
Okay, well, Michaela, Sean, Stacey and Sarah, thank you very much for your time, and we wish you all the best of luck for your futures.
Thanks.
After the group discussion, we took Sarah out onto the lawn on her own and asked her if she'd learnt anything new or any new ways of dealing with the stress in Year 12. So Sarah, did you take anything specific out of the discussion?
Yeah, I did. I learnt that everyone has to have an escape route for themselves in Year 12 to get through the work.
Like, for example, you might not like football, but you'd find something that was different that you'd actually get something out of, like to get away from school?
Yeah, I think it's different for everybody. Everyone has to find their own hobby to do.
That's
And
good.
since the start of the discussion, when we were asking if anyone had any fears or concerns about going in there, and I remember you saying that you hadn't really thought about it much, and I suppose you've thought about it more now since the discussion. And how are you feeling?
Well, I don't think I'm stressed about Year 12 at all, because hearing the ways they've dealt with their stress, I think Year 12 can be sort of built up more than it has to be, and I think that there's easy ways around not getting too stressed or into too much pressure.
Do you think that there might be some positive as well as negative outlets that you may find yourself taking part in?
Yeah, well, obviously there's wrong ways to go about stress, and ways that wouldn't help you, but
not as good as some ways.
But I think everyone just has to sort of trial that out for themselves. You can't really tell someone because
It might
they've
be
got
a
to go
better
through
way
it.
for themselves. Yeah. It's very personal. Okay, thanks a lot, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you.
This is Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, how important do you think it is to have an outlet while studying in Year 12?
I think it's very important to have a balance between study and work and social life.
Do you think you can still relate this to your life presently? Or do you think it's just...
Yes, I do, because even in adult life, yes, you have to have always that fine line between work and rest, recreation.
Okay, so do you think that, what in your opinion are the best ways, like for you personally, to reduce stress or a hectic lifestyle?
So you want me to talk about myself and then talk
Yeah.
about students, perhaps? Well, for myself, I practice yoga and teach yoga. Also like to walk, go out and see fresh air.
Has that changed since you were, like, did you do this, like, what did you do when you were, say, in your late teens? Did you do the same things, or had it taken you a while to get that?
I think it took me a while to realise that's what you need to do. I think when you're younger, perhaps not many kids realise that they need to have, stop and change their activities, have a break. You have different types of personalities. Some kids will just keep on working, not realising they need a break. Other kids have a natural leaning towards having these breaks, balances. Contrast. You have to have a contrast in your life, I think. And then you can come back refreshed.
Okay, then. Thank you, Anne-Marie. This is Paul. Paul, what are your opinions on having outlets when you feel like you're under a lot of pressure?
I think it's essential.
Do you feel that, do you have your own outlets that you do now?
I certainly do. I do lots of things to relax and take my mind off the busy life I've got. I spend a lot of time in different things, doing different things at different times. We've got a house down at Anglesey where we visit quite often to get away from the rat race, so to speak. We also spend a lot of time out in the garden and taking our children to their various sporting events, etc.
What sort of things did you find yourself doing when you were younger, like in school and stuff?
Most of the time I spent, if I wasn't studying, I was playing sports. So I was a sports fanatic and I just loved it. So I spent all my spare time basically playing or training sport.
And have you passed this on to your children?
Well, I've tried to encourage my children to participate in activities outside of school and in particular sport, because I think once you've done some outside activity, and it doesn't necessarily have to be sport, but once you've done that, it clears your mind and freshens your mind and enables you to study and learn a lot easier.
Do you think that you benefited from doing these activities when you were in Year 12?
Definitely. The old saying of a healthy mind, healthy body leads to a healthy mind, I think is quite true. And if you eat properly as well, 3 meals a day, and eat the proper foods, that also has a significant impact.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Paul.
From our studies, we concluded that having an outlet is almost vital to success in Year 12. We found out there are many different ways of dealing with these stresses, such as playing sport, doing yoga, dancing or singing, reading a book, or going for a walk to the park. We also concluded that many outlets are positive, but some are negative, but in the end it's really a personal choice to what outlet you want to do. From this video, we hope that you've learnt that there are stresses in Year 12, but you can deal with them. Having an outlet is one of the ways, which is obviously from the discussion a very successful way to deal with stress in Year 12.
And we wish all of you the best of luck in your Year 12 studies in the year 2000. Thank you.